scenarios when we would use point slope form. If we're given a point and a slope, okay, that makes sense. So if you're given the point or a point and a slope, then you can use point slope form. It's right in the name. The other thing you can do is that if you're given 2 points, you can also do point slope form. It's just another way of writing our equations rather than slope intercept or y equals x plus b. So in here, we have the slope, which is still represented as m, and then x1 and y1 are going to be the numbers that are in your point. So here, let's just go ahead and label for the sake of labeling. So x1, in this case, is going to be -2. y1 is going to be 5, and the slope that they give us is -4. So we're given everything we need to fill in our point slope form. So if you look at the very top, this should be our y1. What's our y1? 5. So we're going to plug in 5. Okay, our slope should be -4, which is what they gave us. And then our x1 is -2. Don't get fooled. There's a negative in the formula, and it's a -2, so you have to put the negative with the 2 there. Okay, if we clean this up, we would have y minus 5 equals -4 times x. What should it be? Plus 2. Okay, so if we clean that up, when I say clean that up, get rid of all the negatives, make sure everything's good to go. Obviously, if you have a negative, you need to leave it. That's fine. Okay, coming back to you a little bit. Remember point slope? Yeah, good. All right, so number 2. Now I haven't given you the structure. We're just going to go ahead and fill it in. Okay, so we'll have y minus y1. What's my y1? 9. There's y1 right there. Y minus 9 equals m, which is -8 times x minus x1. So it should be just x minus 3. Another way of thinking about it is that if you look at the point, it's a +3. If you look at the formula, it's a -3. So when it goes at the formula, it should always be the opposite sign from what it was in the form. So you can think about it that way. Questions for me on that? Okay. Number 3, same thing. I'll let you go ahead and write this. If you don't already have number 3 written down, go ahead and write that down. Do you agree? Okay, so if yours were negative, if you had y minus 1 or if you had x minus 5, just keep in mind, okay, there's already a negative in that formula. So here when we would fill it in, that's what it would look like, right? And it becomes positive. So be really careful with those negatives. All right, now, what if we're not given the slope? Can we find it? Yeah. Yep. We're going to do our slope formula. So if you're not given a slope, it's really not a big deal. Just got to do an extra step. Okay? So we've already been doing slope. I'm going to label my x1, y1, and x2, y2. Okay. If you don't remember slope formula, here it is. So we're going to just plug those in. So y2 minus y1 would be 2 minus 6. And then x2 minus x1 would be 1 minus -3. What's going to happen in that denominator? What's what's going to happen in my denominator?
It's an
Addition, right? So I'm subtracting a negative. So here I would get negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. Am I going too fast? No. All right, so we know our slope is negative 1. Does it matter which point I use to fill in down here? No, you can use either one. Since I already have this labeled x1, y1, I'm just going to use my first point. But it doesn't matter which one you use. So you should have, if you did the first point, y minus 6, then this should be x plus 3. If you did the second point, you would get y minus 2, and then x. But if you use the second point, that's what you have. If you use the first point, you have that one up there. You good? Okay, let me see to make sure. Good deal. Keep rolling. Okay, so now we're going to do it without any structure. Okay, so first step, find the slope. So go ahead and find the slope. I know some of you are doing stack and subtract, which is great. If it works, make sure you're getting the same answer as me. Are you agreeing with the slope of negative 2 for that? Yeah? Okay, good deal. No? You think of that? Oh, okay. Huh?
Why is there another 2?
Why is there a number 2? What do you mean?
I'm still confused because
What do you mean by number 2? You mean like minus 2 here?
yeah. Okay,
So 1 minus 3 on top, and then negative 1 plus 2 on the bottom. Because if we're subtracting a negative, it becomes positive. Is that what you were getting at? Okay, so once we have that, then we're going to fill in. If you use the first point, fine. If you use the second point, fine. Okay, if you use the first point, that's what you would have. Then I'm going to go ahead and write the other one just in case someone did that one. Then either one would work. Okay. Now, do they look very different? Yes. But if you work them out and got them into slope-intercept form, they do the same line. Okay, and we'll get there eventually. All right, number 6. Identify the following information. So now I'm giving you the equation, and I want you to pick out the items from it. What's our slope?
2 over 3.
2 over 3. Good. Okay, what's the point?
3 and 7.
Okay, no.
No, wait.
What did I say about point versus formula? About the signs?
They flip.
They flip. They're opposite. So first of all, think about where your x value is at. Would you agree that my x value is located here? Okay, so if it's opposite, then the point should be a negative 3 value for x. You tracking? Okay, so then what should my point be for y? Positive 7. It's going to get the positive 7. All right, what's my slope for b? Negative 2. That one's straightforward. All right, what about my x value? Negative 6. What about my y value? Negative 3, right? So change the sign when you go from formula to point. All right, now let's take the information and put it into y equals mx plus b. Okay, so now that's kind of what I was saying. We're going to write the formula, and then we're going to change it over. Okay, so I have the steps up here for you. Calculate slope, put it into point slope. Then our third step, our new step, is going to be to solve for y. Okay, so let's do our first step here. First step, go ahead and find the slope. Y1 minus Y2 on top. If you're doing stack and subtract, you're doing your own thing. No matter what you're doing, you should get a slope of 3. Okay, you should get 3 for your slope. Are we okay on that? Yeah? Okay. So then step 2 is use 1 point and slope to write the equation. So our slope is 3. Let's do point slope form. For the sake of doing this problem, we need to all use the same point. Okay? We're going to use 2, 8. So it should be y, tell me, minus 8 equals 3 x minus 2. Good. Good, good. Okay, so that was our second step. I'm going to just label these because I know some friends really like to have the steps labeled. Okay, so we did step 2 where we put in everything. Step 3 is where we solve for y. So when I say solve for y, right, we're getting y alone. So first step to solve for y, we're going to distribute this 3. Okay, so go ahead. I'm going to change to a red marker here. Distribute the 3. Are we okay on that? And then we're going to add 8. That will get y by itself. So now, is that graphable?
Good morning, Pacer family. On this day, 18 years ago, 246 people went to sleep in preparation for their morning flight. 2,606 people went to sleep in preparation for work in the morning tomorrow. 343 firefighters went to sleep in preparation for their morning shift. 60 police officers went to sleep in preparation for morning patrol. 8 paramedics went to sleep in preparation for the morning shift of saving lives. None of them saw past 10 a.m. on September 11, 2001. In one single moment, life may never be the same. As you live and enjoy the breaths you take today, and tonight before you go to sleep, in preparation for your life tomorrow, kiss the ones you love, snuggle a little tighter, and never take 1 second of your life for granted. Let's make this a day of kindness and do something kind for someone else. At this time, let's please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you.
You guys weren't born yet, right? I was in my 6th grade social studies class, and it was kind of crazy. So I don't know if you guys really have heard much. Did you guys? Anybody ever tell you stories? Your parents probably did, or guardians. But my mom is a teacher, so she was right down the hallway from me. And it was kind of weird because a lot of parents were picking their kids up. Because at that point, who knows what's going to happen next, you know what I mean? So it was a weird day that they turned on the televisions. Obviously, it was cool to some of this, but it was one of those big box televisions that was in the corner of the room, and we just watched it. And of course, being in 6th grade, we don't know, we didn't really understand everything, but it was an intense day. So I hope that you guys never have to experience something like that, because it kind of, I don't know, it's an intense in a weird way. I'm sure that you guys will have some sort of experience kind of like it, but I hope that you never have to go through that because it was weird. Okay, moving on. Are we okay on here? Y equals 3x plus 2? We okay on getting to that? Yeah, okay. So, the reason that we get there is because then we can graph. Okay, so the point is to be able to graph this. So we know that the slope intercept form is y equals 3x plus 2. I just thought about that. The whole announcement is the taped version of this. Oh well. Whoever watches it's going to get a little bit of a cost. Okay, so our y-intercept is 2. Okay, because that's our b value, and we can graph. And that'll be the end of that problem. That wasn't the straightest one. Okay, I want you to try these steps on your own. Okay, so go ahead and do step 1. Okay, find that slope for number 8. Okay, then do step 2 with point slope, and then see if you can solve for y equals mx plus 1. Yeah, yep, so be 6 plus 2. All right, I'm going to start doing the steps one at a time here, just so you can check your work. Yeah.
Grade level, like, so,
Simplify it?
yeah.
Yeah. What'd you get here? -4 over. Yeah, so what would that be? Yes. So please do that. Go ahead and please simplify that. Is that the question that you had, John?
Yeah.
Cool. John, right?
Dawson.
Dawson?
I go back.
Really? Now you're really throwing me for a loop. That's okay, I'll get it. I've been practicing my name. All right. So you should have a slope of -1/2. Okay? Then you should write that point slope form for step 2. Let's just use that first point. That should be your point slope form. Then you gotta solve for y. I'm gonna let you solve for y before I put the answer up there. You agree?
Yes.
All right, make sure when you graph that you have a negative slope on that. You're going down from left to right. All right, do we have a couple left? Okay, a couple more problems. Any questions before I move on? Kind of a longer day today, but that's okay. All right, to check the next few problems, use the table on your calculator to determine if the given points are on the line you created, or you can use Desmos. So let's go ahead and get those calculators out, because the more calculator skills we get, the better. So if you have a calculator, get it out. Most of you should have one. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm going to show you how to use it. But first, we're going to go ahead and do our process. Okay, so we're going to find our slope. Should be able to reduce that slope to still over 15. I have a feeling this is going to be very nice numbers. Oh, wait. No, we can make it smaller, can't we? I apologize. We could make it 4 over 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause 6 goes into both looks nice. Let's go ahead and all use the same points, but it's just going to make our life easier here so that we can check our answers. So I'm going to use that first point. That should be your point slope form. All right, and now we're going to solve for y. All right, do you know how in your calculator to do 20 times 4 divided by 5, or would you like to see it? You know how to do it? Okay, so it really would be 80 over 5, 16? 16? 10? All right, you get 4/5 x plus 6. All right, who here has a TI Inspire? TI Inspire, okay. So yours is going to look a little bit different, so let me go ahead and do the TI 83, 84, and then we'll send you the Inspire. If you're an Inspire person, you want to play around and see if you can find it, go to Graph. It should work for you, but I'll show you here in a second. Okay?
I got a TI 84.
All right, that's not giving you rights to talk. Still teaching it. Okay. So I'm going to pull up my 83, 84. So if you have an 83, 84, okay, this is going to be for you. Go ahead and locate that Y equals button in the top left-hand corner right here. Is the Y equals button. You're going to touch that one. Y equals. Okay, and we're going to put in our equation. Now, it already has Y equals there, so you don't have to worry about the Y equals part. You're just going to do 4 divided by 5, and make sure you put that 4/5 in parentheses. Okay, and then how you put an X in is the button right next to alpha. Okay, right next to alpha, you'll see an X there. So this is what this should look like for you. You doing okay? Okay, and then what was it, plus 6? Is that right, plus 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So just add 6 at the end. The big thing is, that 4/5, when you do the parentheses, you have to end that parenthesis. It shouldn't go beyond that 5. Okay? Then you're going to press this graph button. I'm sorry, false. You're going to press second graph. The second button is right here. Second graph. And it should show you a table. Okay? Now, it says in the direction, check to make sure that the points that you have are actually in that table. So we're looking for where X is -20. So we're going to use our arrow to go up to -20. Whoop.
It doesn't work. You press the second graph and then it's on the
Okay, I'll come back over there. All right, you should see -20, -10 there. Okay, then you can scroll down and check +10, which is 14. So that should work out. Okay. Now, if you are on a TI Inspire, my software is expired. So here's what you're going to do for TI Inspire. When you're on the main menu, there should be a section that says Graph. So go ahead and choose that.
I don't know, dude. Yeah.
It was fine. Okay, so TI Inspire. Bear with me because for some reason they haven't updated the software for my TI Inspire.